Hello, everybody. This is Roger from Agnostic Front. I'm here to answer some questions. Mike over here is going to ask you some questions. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Time machine cannot complete the backup. Okay.
Yeah, just
Let me just do okay.
okay. So, one of your fans asks, "What are some of the band's favorite books, and what are some of the latest books that you have read?"
To be honest with you, I think the only one that reads in a band is it's myself. And the latest book I read was a book called. This is a good book. God, I can't remember the name of it. It's a funny book. I read books to my kids, so it's a little kid book. But as a personal book that I've read, I'm not good to remember titles, but I like to read like real stuff, biographies, I guess is that what they call, like true stories, you know. And I usually like to read mob stuff or stuff related with outlaw bike clubs and stuff like that. And the last one I read had to do with the what was going on in Arizona with all that HA stuff and enforcing stuff like that. I can't remember the name of the title of that one, but no big deal. But Skippy John Jones is one of my favorite books. It's a book I read to my daughter every night. It's a hilarious book, Skippy John Jones, about a little cat that thinks it's a chihuahua.
When are you coming to Oahu? Madball came last year. This rock is in need of some New York hardcore. I know the people that can make it will go here.
Well, I've been trying to go to Hawaii for a long time. You know, there's been a couple times that we were actually booked, and at the last minute, not kind of last minute, but pretty close, it would always fall through for some reason. But I would love to go. I mean, it's who wouldn't want to go to Hawaii? You know, it'd be awesome. So hopefully.
The best pizza in New York City.
Oh, my favorite place is Ray's Pizza. It's right on, I think it's Prince, right around the corner from Mott Street. And Ray's is great. Sal's is good, just a few blocks down more. If you're going on Mott Street, heading towards the river, would that be east? Yeah, heading east. That's a great spot too. And in Brooklyn, I like Sal's in Brooklyn too. Two different Sal's, two different people. But everybody in New York is raised in Sal's, so it's kind of hard to figure that out.
Did the late Peter Steele actually write songs for you? And who were your main musical influences when you started the band?
Well, Pete Steele was always a really good friend of ours, and we shared a rehearsal space together, Agnostic Front and Carnivore back then. And as you could tell by listening to, back then the music scene was just incredible. It was just, everybody like loved each other and would come out support each other. Metal hardcore was just, they called it crossover at the time. It was just an intense scene, and there's a lot more similarities than there is not. I mean, most of the difference back then was that the metal kids had long hair, and the punk kids had mohawks, spiked hair, or no hair. But everybody wore like tight black pants, and everybody was a misfit walking out of step with society back then. So we all got along really well. We shared a room with Carnivore back then, and there was a time where I wasn't in the band. And we had momentarily a good friend of mine named Carl that was singing, and was supposed to be the singer for Cause for Long for that actual record. And Vinny came and asked me to come back in. It was just personal reasons. I just had to leave because, just personal reasons, no big deal. And Pete had written. I had put Pete on a kind of a path of what songs I would write about. I gave him the ideas, and he wrote them. And he came back to me with them. And I thought they were fantastic, and I thought it was like those are great songs. But the answer is yes.
What were some of your favorite shows back in the day during the early hardcore scene?
The favorite what?
Your favorite shows.
I mean, CBGB's is number one. Like anytime we play CBGB's is always phenomenal, incredible. In fact, all of Agnostic Front's live album, all three of them, were live at CBGB's, which is we're never going to do another live record just for that reason. But I'm only kidding. But I mean, CBGB's is always home to us, man. It was just, besides that it is home, it was the coolest club, period. Home to underground music, home, since the early '70s. So that was always our all-time favorite.
Which band is and what or was your all-time favorite to tour with, and why?
We've toured with so many bands, and we never really repeatedly toured with any bands. It was always, you know, kind of almost one-off tours. We've done some phenomenal tours. There's great band. I mean, Hatebreed is one of the few bands that we've toured with consistently, and it was always really cool. Jamie's awesome and a big Agnostic Front fan. Always did tours together. You know, we just had great times together. That's why Jamie would always invite us. But most of the time, it's always been different bands. I mean, we've toured with GBH. That was a big tour in the '80s. Let me see what else. All the rest of it was mostly headliners ourselves, except for in early '90 we did that Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, Malone Creation tour. That was a great tour. Basically on our own, all the time on our own.
When you started Agnostic Front, where did you see that going in the future? Did you envision what actually ended up happening? Did you guys see yourselves as pioneers in the modern day American hardcore punk scene?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, if you would have approached me back in 1981, 82 and said that, you know, Agnostic Front was going to be the band that it is today and I would travel the world. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. That I would travel the world, I probably would have laughed in your face and been like, "Are you crazy?" You know, I mean, I just couldn't think or couldn't envision what we were doing to be anywhere outside of New York, or pretty much it was so small. The scenes were so small, and all the bands were so, you could tell they were distinctive. You knew where they were from, and all the contacts we ever had with any of the bands were literally through the mail. So it was a very small network, but we were very supportive. It was very cool. Just like, I mean, from what I'm reading, all the books, when I've read about the Sex Pistols, the Clash, and all those books, and the 100 Club, and I actually been to the 100 Club in London. It's a tiny place. It's no different than the way A7 Club was. And I'm very honored and very proud that we've come along this ways, and people have if it wasn't for the people, our friends, our family, our fans, we would have never been where we are. And I'm very grateful of that. And it's incredible. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. We were just enjoying what we were doing. We were just living our lives. It's kind of funny because I look at it as like kind of early retirement, because everybody works like an animal, and then when they hit 64, 65, they're retired. I think it's kind of reverse retirement for us. We were just having the time of our lives through our youth and continuing through now. And then, there's going to be a point where we get to stop and work for the rest of our lives, and hopefully our friends and help us through it. You know what I mean?
Did you ever get the book Just Us published? It would be great if somebody did a history of hardcore book, or at least a documentary DVD.
Well, it's interesting you asked this question. We've been working on a documentary DVD of Agnostic Front, which cannot be an easy or simple thing. We're trying to document 3 decades of our existence into 90 minutes. It's kind of hard to do. But at the same time, we don't want to do a typical documentary. We want to do something that's, like something that is really real and genuine, like everything we've ever been about, So it's been taking a while to do this documentary, but I think the results in the end, when it does happen in premiere, I think people are really going to appreciate it. And kind of the same thing would go for that book I've been writing, Just Us. It's had some unfortunate moments. I was pretty close to finishing it, and then the World Trade Center disaster happened in New York City. I had it backed up. I had it in my computer, and then I had it in my laptop backed up, and there was so many viruses that were spread during that whole time, that it destroyed all my regular computer and destroyed my laptop, and it kind of destroyed everything I had. It was really weird because prior to that, I bought this program called Naturally Speaking Dragon. It's a program you could buy, and it kind of learns your voice, and because I'm not really good typing, so it'll eventually, after teaching my damn computer for about a month on a vacation, how to understand me, like the way I speak. Because when I first started, they would make you read this book. It was really crazy, and it would type something that was not even said. But after a month of teaching this, I did so much for a month, so much into this stuff, and it all disappeared. But the good thing about it is that the original bones to the book I've always kept, and we've always been on disc, and I've always had that. So there's a lot there, and one of my goals is to finish it this year. And I promise I really want to do is have a friend of mine who's gonna help me finish it. I've just got a lot of stuff on my plate. As you can see, my busy life with Agnostic Front, with Roger Minute Disasters, with the clothing line I'm doing. I have two new children right now. I have Nadia was with me since '87, and now I have Abby, my youngest daughter, and she was just born in '07, and then my son Desi in '09. So there's a lot on my plate, but I'm gonna get to it.
What are your thoughts on German hardcore?
German hardcore is awesome, like that's one of the great things about this band is, like you asked me the question before, what I've ever thought I would ever be or done any of the stuff I've done, and that goes to prove that. I mean, I never would have thought it, but it's the greatest thing that's ever happened, because I look forward to going to Germany, besides to performing and playing, is to just see all my old friends I've made throughout the years. I've made some really good friends out there. I mean, I have people I consider family, strong family. My whole crew. I have Mosh and Schlumpf and Jay and all the peeps at MAD Bookings. These are people that like, they're beyond just business. They're family, and they're treated as family, and I'm treated as family in respect to them too. And I've made so many great friends in Germany that I look forward to just going there and saying hello and just hanging out. I mean, it's really incredible that I've had this opportunity. I thank you all, and I'm really grateful of it.
Have you guys ever thought about doing a USO tour? I'm heading back to Afghanistan in March, and it would be awesome if you guys could come out.
I mean, why not? Agnostic Front. There's a lot of people in the military that love Agnostic Front, and I have a lot of respect for the military. I'll never stay here or talk down on it. My brother-in-law is actually a gunnery sergeant for the Marines, and it takes they're protecting our safety here in America, and they're doing an incredible job. And someone's got to do it, Plus, they're risking their lives for a lot of us, and I have a lot of respect for them, And I mean, there's times where you may not agree with what's going on, but that's life. And when those times of war come, that's why it's called war. I read this thing once, and I made it and I put it into one of my songs. And I was in Ireland. I was going from Dublin to Belfast, or Belfast to Dublin, the other way around. And I remember taking a drive in Ireland, because I wanted to drive. I wanted to see Ireland. I didn't want to fly from, it was an easy flight, but I want to drive. And I saw something spray painted on the wall that I'll never forget. It said, "Someone's freedom fighter is another one's terrorist." It's so true. So I remember that, and I put that in one of my songs, in a song called Peace. Freedom fighter is our terrorist. Terrorist is our whatever. I forgot the lyrics, but you know what I mean. It's such a true statement. It's like, where do you stand with that? And I'm pretty simple. I got a lot of respect and honor for people that put their lives their lives in the line of danger for the safety of my family. I'm a person that's been incarcerated. I've been in situations that I could probably very familiar to war, because I've been in those battlegrounds, if you know what I mean. And I know what it's like to stand up and fight and do what you got to do for the safety of your own good, So if you ask me if I would like to play out there, of course I would. Why wouldn't I?
So you are about to put out your latest album, My Life, My Way. What would you consider your best record?
My Life, My Way. I'm not just saying that because it's going to be our newest record. I'm very proud of the record we all are as a band, and when you do get to hear it and see it, you'll see that it's like everything we've ever done, very genuine, very real. The band put 101% into this thing. It's incredible. You could feel it. It's one of those records you put it on, and from the minute you put it on, you want to sing along to it. You'll listen to it through the first time, and you're going to go back and listen to the lyrics, and you're going to sing along. It's probably got the most anthems we've ever had on any record. it's also what's really cool about it. It's pretty much a musical collage of almost every Agnostic Front record that's ever out there. You hear parts of Victim in Pain. You hear parts of Something's Got to Give or Right Upstart. You hear parts of, you know, Cause for Alarm. Even parts of Liberty and Justice for. And you'll reference them when you hear it. It's pretty cool, you know. I mean, Agnostic Front's always been one of those bands that have been leaders, not followers, and we've pioneered a lot of movements, change, you know, throughout the scene, from the hardcore to the crossover to the what they called speed metal to what they called new school hardcore. I could just name the albums that pretty much pioneered every one of those things to date, you know. And we've been nothing but we've started off as a genuine New York street band, you know, street punk band, street hardcore band. That's all we've ever been, you know, from the streets of New York doing our thing, and you know, and the angst and the energy behind the band is it's a normal thing. It complements the lyrics. And I think it's only, you know, I hate, you know, not to disrespect anywhere else in the country, but if Agnostic Front was from anywhere else, we probably wouldn't sound the way we do sound. I think it's just because it's New York City. It's where we're from, and it's that growing up in those areas, it made the band who they are, you know what I mean? And fuels our fire.
Is Roger Miret's new
album? Is that Chrissy? Chrissy, what's up? Are you out there? I just saw it says Chrissy. What up, LES? You know what's up.
Oh yeah, is the new Roger Miret album with the Disasters coming out on vinyl? I have looked around but haven't been able to find a copy.
That's a good question because we haven't got it yet. But yes, it is coming out on vinyl, and in Europe I saw some stuff. If you go to People Like You Records in Europe, you'll see where they have it in red vinyl, which is really cool. I don't know what's going to be here in America because from what I understand, it's going to be an import. So hopefully they'll send some of the color vinyl this way. If not, you could get it right now. You could, if you go to like maybe one of my friend's shops. Speaking of friends I've made throughout, you know, Agnostic Front in Berlin. Excuse me, Cortex Records in Berlin. They will have it in red vinyl. Contact them, Google them, do whatever it takes. Probably cortex.de. And plus, you're supporting a good friend of mine's shop, and get it on red vinyl will be ultra cool, you know. And I know the Agnostic Front record is definitely going to be on vinyl too. So, and I just saw recently, we just put a post for the Bridge 9 single off the Agnostic Front new record, My Life, My Way. Jesus, I'm so confused. You guys got to understand that I recorded the new Disasters record in October, followed it in November with the new Agnostic Front record. Then in December, I did 4 songs with the Alligators. So I don't even know what song I'm singing anymore. And I'm on tour with the Disasters right now. And it's been a great tour. It's been fantastic. And we just shot another video yesterday. We're going to premiere a video with the Disasters real soon, I think on Tuesday. punknews.org, I think. Just keep looking for online for, you know, just follow us on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, and you'll see that. It's a great little video we shot for the Disasters. Agnostic Front's shooting a video in New York real soon in March, so look for that. But what I was saying is there's going to be vinyl of everything, and the Bridge 9 vinyl is way cool, so check it out. It's a single. It's a limited edition. Check that out.
How heavy is the presence of racism at Agnostic Front shows, and how are you taking a stand against it?
Well, you know, I don't see it, to be honest with you. I mean, in the 80s, yeah, I mean it was a tough situation. I'm really happy where everything is today, you know, because I mean, it feels a little bit more comfortable. I don't see much presence of it. You know, people know exactly how I feel. I don't think I need. You know, one thing I learned throughout living through the '80s, and and you know, standing here to talk about it, because I have a lot of friends that never made it or lived through it or are alive to talk about it. You know, some of them are incarcerated, most of them are dead. You know, one thing I've noticed is, you know, one thing I've got to say is we're not here to police your scene. It's not Agnostic Front's job to do these things, and you got to take a stand on your own, man. You know, we've said what we've said forever. It's in our records. It's history. Read the lyrics. But there's a point where, you know, the people need to stand up and fight.
Why doesn't any of the new Agnostic Front gear with the boots say skinhead on it anymore? I've gotten jumped at an Agnostic front show before for being a skin. A lot of the new hardcore fans don't realize how much of an influence skins have.
I'm trying to read some of these questions here. I'm sorry. I'll get back to some. Hello to Russia. I'll get back to you. Let me get. It's too much near to metal sound. I don't know. This one is a little. I don't understand that one. I'm sorry. I'm not understanding some of these questions. But thanks for being at the Bell House, and that was a great show. The Bell House show. That was the original lineup of Victim in Pain. That was a show that was incredible. It was a very memorable show. Actually, brought tears to my eyes playing with Vinny Kabula, Adam, and Dave Jones. That was one of the greatest shows of my life. And going back to your question, we just can't have the same shirt over and over and over. If you go to Machete, I think it's machete.com, the Agnostic Front Skinhead shirt is available there. It has been available there for as long as I know, and it's still available there. It's just that all merchandise is in different stores in different ways. And when we did the Warriors record, I thought it would be really cool to put Warriors. And then, of course, with the reunion shows, I thought it'd be really cool to do Victim in Pain, because pretty much the boots is basically been our logo. But you can get that shirt if you want to get it at any time, at any given moment. It's there. I don't know.
So a fan named Tom Enlow asks that he came up to your garage when you were building your coupe a few years back, and he wants to know if you still have those bubble skirts you offered him. He has another 54 and he could use them.
Well, no, I don't have them. I'm in the process of me and my good friend Mike Lewis, who's a really good friend of mine in Arizona. He's pretty much the mind behind the build of my 54 right now. And me and him together work really great. Now, obviously, I'm on tour. I started the chop with him, and he's got to continue because we're on a time limit here. I've been invited by the Showcase of Customs show here in Long Beach at the Motorama. I think it's September 30th through October 3rd. It's an honor to be here amongst such great car builders and to premiere my 54 that me and Mike have been working on. Again, Mike is the main man behind it. He's a great dude. And I'm excited about that. I've moved. I don't live in New York anymore. I'm in Arizona, and I took my 32 with me. But like I said, I have a new young family. I opted to sell my 32. I kept it in a family. It's in the Rumblers family, my car club family. It's in with the Rumblers chapter of Rome, Italy, and Maze out there has it. So it's pretty cool. But I needed to get something a little bit bigger to fit my whole family. It's not fun going to a car show with your wife and kids following you. I want them to be a part of it, So I don't have the bubble skirts. I'm sorry, but it's my hobby, man.
A fan asks, if you were to drain all of the ink from both you and Vinny, how many pint glasses would you fill?
Fuck, a lot, man. But it'll be some really ugly ink. I see a question I want to answer. It says, the best show ever that I was at Super Bowl Hardcore at the Old Ritz. Do you remember that one? Of course I do. That's by Chef Mark, New York City. But I want to tell you something, that Super Bowl Hardcore at the Old Ritz is going to happen again this year. And I believe it's the date is going to be May 28th. I'm not going to announce one of the bands because there's a show happening with one of the bands, but if you like that show, you know exactly the bands that are going to play. It's going to be pretty much that lineup. Agnostic Front, Gorilla Biscuits, the rest to your imagination. But it's happening real soon. New Super Bowl Hardcore, so check that out. Tickets will be out real soon, black and blue. Wait, let me see if I get another question here. I see. Any chance of Agnostic Front Suicidal Tendencies tour? We've been trying that forever. The Suicidal Tendencies have asked us, and it's just bad timing. It's like we're here when we're there, and they're here when they're there. And I think that'll be an incredible tour, But you never know. I never say never, I've had tours that I'll be honored to do it, not a problem. Your question was about.
Oh, okay.
I forgot.
Mine's.
About the tattoos.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, people always ask you how many tattoos you got. I mean, I like to say just one big one, pretty much, my whole body. But when we started getting tattoos, a lot of our tattoos, when we started getting tattoos weren't cool. They weren't, it was more of a statement, pretty much society statement. You know, today it doesn't really reflect any of that at all. And people with tattoos, like if you know, weren't accepted, and people would pretty much cross the street. It was all outcasts and misfits and prison people that had tattoos, and the punk scene always took an attraction to it because the punk scene like always felt like there were misfits and outcasts. And you know, if you look at all the early punk bands, they you know, tattoos was it. But I'm proud to say that I think Agnostic Front is probably the most heavily tattooed band ever. That was our thing. We came out. We were living in New York City. We did our own tattoos on each other, from pretty much prison guns that we made ourselves or kind of walked out of prison with, you know. And then it became what it became. And now tattoos are beautiful. They're great, you know. Like if I could erase them all, I get some really nice new ones. But a lot of it's history, you know. They mean something. Like this one right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to see. This is, I don't know where I'm at. This is to my, where am I? Good friend John that was he was just murdered, you know. But this one I'm trying to show you here. This is a Crucified Skin from the Last Resort record. This is probably the second one I've ever seen. Well, it's the second one in the New York Carpet. The only one I had one prior to me, or about the same time, just maybe a few weeks or a month early or whatever, was John Watson, the original singer of Agnostic Front. Great dude, great man, family man himself too. And you know, then the Crucified Skin was something that was really strong resemblance to me. I always loved the Last Resort, great band, and lived by those guidelines, you know, working class. Till date, still working class.
And I guess in New York, Vinny co-owns the tattoo shop.
Yes, New York Hardcore Tattoos, correct.
So if another fan asks, do you still hate hip-hop music, or have you changed your mind?
Well, let me clarify this. I'm not into any gangster stuff, and you know what? I'm a realist. You know, I come from an upbringing. My mom and my sister, I respect women. I heavily do respect them. I have 2 daughters and my wife. I don't believe in you know, like people going around talking about like bitches and hoes. I couldn't care. It doesn't, you know, fascinate me, and I don't know. It's not about me. I'm a little bit more respectful than that, you know, and guns and violence. I mean, unnecessary violence. You know, I'm not into that. There's been great hip hop artists in the very beginning of it. Like, let me just think of a few off the top of my head. I mean, KRS-One, for instance, I mean, he had really important, good stuff to say. You know, there was a meaning behind him. I remember his, you know, standing up against like big corporations like McDonald's. I mean, I respect that. You know, I don't, you know, I'm not into the gangster hip hop. It doesn't thrive me. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't, you know, as a preference of music, no, I don't like it. I don't really listen to it. But I know when something's done right. You know, I could, you know, some of my really good friends like hip hop, and I'll hear a song like, that's pretty good. It's done right. You know, I'm not into, you know, beats. I'm into live performance, but I've seen some live hip hop bands that are pretty fucking badass, and I give credit where credit is due. I mean, I love punk music. You know, what can I say? That's what feeds me, what puts me through everything. I mean, I always said never trust a hardcore kid that doesn't listen to punk music, because I mean, those are the roots, man. You know, it's people's roots are in different places, but that's my opinion. You know, I'm a fucking punk rocker till I die. What can I say? You know.
I know that Gotta Go is always a crowd favorite, but if you had to choose, what's your favorite song to play live in any country?
That's a good question. I love playing them all, man. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I love playing Victim in Pain, you know, and I've been playing that more than anything else. Gotta Go is a great song to me. I enjoy playing it. I enjoy For My Family. I like the more anthem-y songs. I really do. That's why I'm really excited about this new record, which, stay tuned. I think they're going to play some new songs. Are you guys playing some new songs? I hope you're going to play something for them. Tease them with something new.
Soon.
Okay, they're going to tease you with something new. Good. I'm really happy about the new record. There's a lot of very anthem-y stuff. And one of the most... when I'm trying to read some of the stuff here, Lars Ferguson Tattoo New York Hardcore Tattoo. I thought that was pretty cool that Lars went and tattooed New York Hardcore Tattoo. You know, that's, you know, people like Lars, they give back, man. And people, you know, like, And they're just genuine people, man. They want to go meet people and hang out. I mean, that's really fucking cool, you know. There's a lot of jackasses out there that don't give a shit, you know. But going back to your question was, in this record, it's really special because there's a lot of single. Like I said, you're gonna want to sing along. And one thing that's really really special about this record is back in 1999 when we did our Something's Got to Give record for Epitaph. There were in the European version only because we always try to make something a little bit different. There were 3 songs that were done in Spanish, but what they were was there was originally in English and translated to Spanish and kept the English choruses. One of them was it was Gotta Go, Voices, and Believe, and as a single it came out on Hellcat Records in America. Well, that was the last time we did anything in Spanish. For this record, I really wanted to do something straight up in Spanish. Period. Not translated from English to Spanish. Not a song that was originally, written in English. This song was written in Spanish, and it's special because Matt Henderson, who played guitar with us, in one voice, he came up with the beginning. He gave it to us as a gift. The rest of the band finished the song, which is really cool. And then me and my brother Freddie, we sat down in the studio and we wrote the song, which is it's one of my favorites. It's called A Mi Manera, which kind of translates to My Way, like it's kind of the title back in Spanish, My Life, My Way, but its own identity. It's probably the heaviest song on the record too, out of everything, But it's a great song, and it feels good to, give back to your heritage, you know what I'm saying? So maybe they'll play that one. I don't know what's going to be happening here soon, but when you come into Halifax, I don't know. We're going to be touring soon. Right now, I'm finishing up the Disasters. I'm on tour with the Disasters. I want you guys to, if you get a chance, pick up the new Roger Man and Disasters record. It's called "Gotta Get Up Now." It's by far, I think, our best record. It's kind of a continuation, I think, where Right Upstart left off, And I'm really proud of that. So if you get a chance, pick that up, and and that's where I'm at right now. My mind, I'm touring that, and come June, I'll be doing some European dates with Agnostic Front, and we'll see where that goes,
Do you find it harder touring longer periods of time as the years go by?
Well, you know what it is as a parent and as of maintaining a family and coming home just because I love my children. I've always loved kids, I used to tour. I used to go out for 10 weeks, 12 weeks, and then sometimes 6 months straight, 9 months straight, whatever, But I don't want to do that anymore. I choose not to do that anymore. Like, we used to go to Europe once, maybe twice, but we would do some lengthy tours. The same with America, Now I break it up. I'll divide it. Like, I'll do the West Coast. I'll go home for a month. Then I'll go to Europe, do a part of Europe. Then I'll come back here a month later, relax, and do the middle of America. Then go back to Europe, do the other part of Europe, come back, relax another month. Then I'll go to South America, come back, relax. And I'm like, for instance, to make the long story short, our last tour, last year, we started a tour in January here in America, and we ended that tour in November. So we just broke it up in 3 different sections because we're family. We want to come back for our family. Family is very important to us as we sing about it and we talk about it. And I love my children, I love my kids, I love my wife, and I just want to be with my family. So that's kind of how I break it up, and that's where I'm at.
Is it difficult to decide where to tour, or do you just go where people want to see you?
Well, no, we go wherever, we work with, in America, work with Devil Doll Bookings, and, she gets us our shows here. In Europe, we work with MAD, and in South America, we work with Marcos, Liberty, I think it's called Liberty Music, I think. And we just go where, like they'll contact me, say, hey, you want to do this and that, and we'll just, we'll pick and choose what we want to do. Like I said, we have to make sure we have time for our family events, whatever's important. But there are places that we haven't gone to that I'm dying to go to, like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand. These are places that, this is my dream. I got to go there. Even Egypt, and I know Egypt has been in a crazy position, as the whole world knows. Maybe the whole world doesn't know, but yeah, I think today was the day they got their freedom, I think. But anyway, these are places Israel. I've dreamed of playing in Israel. I have yet to go, and I'm looking forward to making those dreams come true. I really want to go there. You know, again, we're gonna work our hardest to get to Australia and Japan again. We didn't go for our last record for Warriors, so it's overdue. Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia. We're gonna come. Trust me, we're gonna get there. Can you come to the UK Rebellion? Well, you know, we were invited to play this year's Rebellion. This is going out to Vengeance Punks. Thanks for the question. I met you last year. You signed my painting. Oh yeah, and okay, now I know who you are. It's a great painting, by the way. We were asked again to go this year, but I really want to go to Disasters, to be honest with you, because I want to kind of give it a rest and go out there with Disasters. But I'm waiting to hear back. You know, you never know. We'll be in Switzerland for sure. I'm coming to Switzerland with the Disasters. Come on out. Speaking of which, I'm prior to the Agnostic Front tour, in the end of April into May, I'm doing a whole tour with the Disasters. Come out, check that out. And one of my I do a couple AF songs as a treat, you know, because we enjoy playing anyway, and I understand that some Agnostic Front fans come out, so out of respect, I will break out. Gotta go. I will break out. Crucified. And, you know, you never know. But at the same time, I want to do my own songs. So come say hello. Come see the Disasters. We're going to be out on tour with Civet, who are on Hellcat Records. So hope to see a lot of Agnostic Front fans out there too. Do I talk to Navy Dave often? I just saw Navy Dave. This is a question from Sean Cahill. Navy Dave is in Switzerland. He owns a tattoo shop, and he's doing really well. And I met his son, and I forgot what part of Switzerland, to be honest with you, but he has a tattoo shop, so look that up. He's doing well, man. He's out there tattooing. Modern hardcore, is it a protest music? That's a question from Oslig. I would hope so. You know, I live by the ethics. The lyrics are more important than I don't even know if that's the right word I use, but whatever. Lyrics are more important than the music. Music complements the lyric, and I like to believe that people, you know, kind of listen to the message behind hardcore. I mean, what's the point of even doing it if there's no message behind it? You know, it's just, it was always that way. You know, like you know, you got to stand for something. You know. Let me see. Okay, Switzerland. Now you live in AZ. Okay, there's a question from Michael Palmer. Now you live in AZ and now make it a stop in every U.S. tour. How does the crowd in AZ compare to New York? Well, if you want to know what the crowd in Arizona is like, the new video we just did for We're Gonna Find a Way, it's gonna premiere on Tuesday, shows them AZ punks. Those kids are cool, man. It's a good scene, man. Arizona's got a really good scene. It's especially Phoenix. It's you know, it's a major city going on the way through to Texas or anywhere. You got to go through Phoenix, and the kids love New York hardcore. I'll tell you that much. I just saw Madball there. Freddie just played there, and there was a lot of kids there. And I saw the Chromex just play there, and I mean, there's shows there all the time. It was just a Social Distortion show, and it's always great shows there. And it's definitely a cool place. I've always loved Arizona. Always loved Phoenix. I saw myself living there. You know, I mean, I'm from Cuba. Moved to New York, and then moved to New Jersey, and back to New York. And New York's always been my home base, and I always still say that. You know, but you know, let's face it. You know, the New York City I sing about, and the New York City that people are familiar with Agnostic Front about, that's like the Taxi Driver New York. I don't know if you ever seen Taxi Driver the movie. I mean, if you go to New York City now and walk around the Lower East Side, like, you'll be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? These are nice boutiques and nice models, people, and movie stars. Well, that's not the New York I wrote about, you know. So that being said, it was pretty much easy for me to pick up and move on and raise my family in a place where I could do it, you know, and give a little space for my kids to get a good life, I guess, you know. And speaking of which, my kids, my little son Desi, you watch out for that little boy. He's a badass little drummer. 20 months old. Tito Puente ain't got nothing on this kid. Okay, let me see. Oh, well, going back to Vengeance Punk. Hello again. Yes, do you want your kids to play music? I seen Desi knows how to drum real good. Well, there you go. I just mentioned it. He's a good drummer, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna encourage him. You know, I used to say I don't want, but why not? This has been my dream. I'll encourage anyone to follow their dreams. And like I said, I've been living a really good retirement. I'm really grateful. And if again, I want to mention, if it wasn't for you, my friends, my fans, people. I hate to say fans; it's such a shit. So, but you know what I mean. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been living my retirement. So and my dreams. So thank you very much. That was the answer to that question. Let me see where your song. Yeah, here's one from Glam Punks. Your song about your son Junior on the new Disaster album is too touching. Loved. It is a hard writing though. Is it hard writing those? For those who are not familiar with the Disasters or not familiar, well, I just want to talk a little bit about that. What I can. The Disasters, lyrically, it's like reading my diary. If you want to get to really know Roger Miret, myself, prior to Agnostic Front, and in the early days of Agnostic Front, the Disasters is a really cool personal diary. Lyrically, it's me kind of letting you know why I got into, punk and hardcore. What it stood for me, and how I back it up, and I still do till date. And I think that's a good bit of history right there. Musically, the Disasters are pretty much a collage of all those bands that made me who I am. All those bands that inspired me. Bands like The Clash, Gen X, The Business, Sham 69, Last Resort. These are all these bands that, without them, I wouldn't be here, and it's me giving back respect, Cockney Rejects, me giving back respect to them, and hopefully trying to ignite that same fire that ignited me to come this far. So it's a really cool trip, man, checking that out. But that song in particular you just mentioned, Junior, is an oddball. It wasn't a song I was going to put on a record, but my guitar player Reese kind of thought it was important for me to put it on there because it's a very personal song. I do get very personal with the Disasters, but it's a step even further. It's a straight up country song, and my son wasn't even born yet. I was laying in bed with my wife, and she was about 7-8 months pregnant, and I jumped out of bed and I ran to my little recording thing, and then I started, writing this song and throwing the lyrics. And my wife came in, and she's like, "What are you doing? It's 3 o'clock in the morning." I was like, I just had this thing I had to write, and it's a great song. Shit, I almost want to cry. Anyway, it's a song to my son. Roger, what was your music inspiration when you're growing up? And what do you listen to now? Cheers, beers, Phil. Musical inspiration, I think I just mentioned them all. Clash, Sham 69, Blitz, wow, what a phenomenal band. The Business, Last Resort, Ramones. I mean, those are the bands that kind of, really shaped me. And, I still listen to them now. That's what I listen to them now, Some of my heroes, they've written great songs, and I've got a lot of respect for, of course, Joe Strummer, Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, Bruce Springsteen. I love Bruce Springsteen. I mean, these are people that write great songs and touching songs, and I don't think I could ever get to the level, it's just, I don't know. It's a different type of writing, but it's phenomenal. I think they speak to me. All those songs they write have spoken to me. Oh, here's a good question. Let me see. Rishi Lam Milky Hammersmith. So if you like Sham 69, are you also into skinhead reggae like Laurel Atkins? I can't read right now. Laurel Atkins, yeah. I mean, I do like reggae. I'm a fan, of course. There is a really cool single coming out, just coming out real soon on People Like You, which is a reggae dub remix. It's kind of, it's got a little bit of specials type of ska into it too, and it's really cool. If we're gonna find a way, it's gonna be only on a single. So look for that. And it's actually available for pre-order real soon. I think there's a limited edition only made in Europe. So get on that real soon. And oh yeah, big fan. You know. Why don't you wear glasses? Squinting makes your eyes worse. Love, glam punk. I do wear glasses, but I wear glasses all day. But you know, I just chose not to right now. I do have a problem right now with my eyes, well, one of my eyes, so that may look weird. Does it look weird? I have a problem with that eye. There's something in it besides the eyeball. I think I'm like, yes, yeah, that's the one. What's your favorite movie apart from Taxi Driver? Taxi Driver is a great movie. Patton, man. Does anybody remember Patton? Great movie. You know, you want to hear something retarded? I make my band, we always stop at the Patton Memorial Museum. Nobody knows where this is at. It's in the middle of nowhere when you're driving from either California to Arizona all the way back. It's a great place, man. It's a great place. Patton was a hero, you know. Great movie, Patton. But let me see. One of the recent great movie I just saw, The Fighter. Wow, that was a great movie. I just saw The Fighter. Phenomenal movie. 300 is a great movie. There's some good movies out there, you know. I just have a really bad habit. I have a very expensive movie date habit. I happen to watch them on planes. I don't have other time, but when I'm on an airplane to watch a movie. But Yo Gabba Gabba is a great show. Shout outs to Yo Gabba Gabba. Phenomenal show. Whoever created that, talent. It's awesome. Great bands. Yeah. Speaking of reggae, who's on that? The Agrolites are on the Yo Gabba Gabba once in a while, and I think who else? I can't remember right now. Let me go to the next question. Oh, I did see This Is England, a great movie. I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't like it, but of course I saw This Is England, you know, something I wanted to see. Tracy Louise Tonks asked me that. It's a great movie. It's pretty intense, you know. What else? I have other questions here I'm trying to answer. There's a lot here popped up, so I'm trying to answer questions. I really want to say thank you all for tuning in and asking me questions. And looking forward to actually the release of the new Agnostic Front record. And it's really it's all of our proudest work to date. Pokey Mo, yeah, if you guys are familiar with Pokey, our drummer, played with Leeway and Both Worlds, John Joseph's band. After you heard the mix, he said he's overwhelmed now. He loves it, you know. Okay, what else? I'm about to sign out, and before I sign out, I want to make a little announcement on, on March 22nd, My Life, My Way, Agnostic Front's My Life, My Way will be released here in the United States. I think it's coming out earlier in Europe. I don't remember. I think it's maybe March 4th, but here in America, March 22nd. There's pre-orders available right now at the nuclearblastusa.com. Pre-order the new record. And then you could also, I think, we're running a contest where you could win Dr. Martin, free Dr. Martin. So when you go there to pre-order, enter the contest to win free Dr. Martin boots. The link will be below at nuclearblastusa.com. So go there. I mean, you may wear a pair of boots, so that's pretty cool. There's a couple other contests we're doing. I don't know if I'm allowed to speak about it, but there are some other contests coming. Am I allowed to speak?
They're coming up.
They're coming up, but I got to stay quiet about it. There's a couple more cool contests coming up, so please keep checking up on our Facebook and MySpace site. There's one really great contest coming up that I'm really excited about. The boots I'm excited about. So get on that, pre-order, at least sign up for the contest. You have nothing to lose, you know. And am I a vegetarian? What do you like to eat? I go back and forth. At the moment, I am a vegetarian, I guess, you know. I like to eat a lot of different stuff. I'm a big supporter of PETA. I don't believe in any animal cruelty. I just stand a certain way, and I've said it in my records. I don't believe there should be any testing on animals for any type of human stuff, you know. It's completely different organs and everything else. I think they should be making those tests on rapists, child molesters, serial killers. I mean, they deserve it. I don't know. The animals don't deserve it. That's how I stand with that. The best veggie burgers you get on the road are at Denny's. I think Amy's makes a really great veggie burger, and I eat them every day. And they're delicious. Did you just? Oh, I see some people just enter the contest. Awesome! It's a really cool contest. And what's this, Chrissy? We'll call Chrissy. What are you saying, Chrissy? Good old friend of mine over there back in New York. The Lower East Side girls, LES. Alexa can get you a free pair of boots. Yeah, she probably could. Where is Alexa? She's not on here. Yeah, you know, and one of the greatest thing about being on tour also is seeing all my old friends and seeing that they're alive and well with their families. And one of the greatest thing about that tour, that one show we just did in New York City, the reunion show of the original Victim in Pain lineup, was that I got to see all these old friends I haven't seen in a while. So I'm really happy that these people are still here, you know. So these are my friends and will be my friends forever. So thank you all. We're gonna play a new song.
Oh, Live at CBGB, the DVD.
Damn it! All this time and they're not gonna play a new song. Well, I'm not gonna leave till you do it. I'm gonna stay right here. They won't let me do it. All right, so you guys could enter the contest, do the pre-orders, do your pre-orders at Bridge 9 for the single. That's limited edition. And I'm sorry we're not going to play a new song, but they're going to do something. So thank you all. And do you have a regular job besides Agnostic Front? Of course I do. What do you think? I could live off the boots? Yes, I have a regular job. I have a bunch of regular jobs. I'm a Harley-Davidson mechanic, which I'm not doing right now because it doesn't really, you know, I can't find a job that can let me go back and forth. I'm an electrician, and I'm doing that. I'm working with my friend as a, you know, doing a bunch of electrical and carpentry and all that type of work. I do also do my clothing line, American Made Custom, which I'm very involved with. But yes, to answer your question, I don't go home and you know, I don't live off of this basically. And I go out with the disasters, and I do it because I love it, man. I do it because I love it. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Okay, thank you everyone. I want to say thanks to some of the people, Vengeance Punks, Glam Punks, Tracy Loose Tongues, Hopscotch Band, who just asked me about my road. Thank you all. Really great, appreciate it. And I'll see you guys out there.